this is for real this time. This is Connie, here in Connie's Kitchen. We're getting back on schedule. The unicorns have been messing with things this morning, so we've had a few false starts. But the unicorns are great, and they do good things for good people, so we appreciate our unicorns. Tonight, the posse's coming up. The posse is the group of volunteers in Oxford who put together, coordinate, and present the Lone Ranger Festival. They're coming up for dinner tonight to discuss this year and start planning for next year. So what I'm going to do today is I'm actually cooking for them, get some things started. Now I'm going to make, for appetizers, one of the things I'm going to make is tomatillo salsa, and I'm going to make my own chips. And these are just wonton wrappers that I have cut in half, and then I lay them on the cookie sheet, some over the side, some of them I crimp around a little bit. These are just going to go in the oven at 350, and hopefully I'll remember to check on them. And then, while we do that, we're going to get some bacon jam started. Now, I did that last week at the wine dinner, and it was very well received. People kept asking for the recipe, and I said, I'll tell you what I used, but I think one of my cousins in Canada actually sent me the idea. And if that's the case, thank you. It will now be a Lodge staple. So I'm going to get these ready, crimp them up a little bit, and then I'm going to put just some little bit of it's onion powder, a little bit of sea salt. And this just gives you a little different taste from, just a standard bag of chips. A little bit of garlic, gotta have some garlic. And you notice I'm using an old cookie sheet. It's discolored and such because I save it for things like this because that stuff bakes on there. I mean, it's clean, it just gets stained. So I'm gonna set that in the oven, let that start doing its thing. And just to be on the safe side, so I hopefully don't forget, I'm going to set the timer to remind me to look at it. Now, bacon jam. Earlier this morning, I took about half a pound of bacon, browned it up, and then I set these aside for right now. Then I took it out of the pan. I drained most of the bacon fat off, but I left it wet because that's kind of the basis for what we're going to do here. And now I'm going to add some chopped onion. And this is just going to sit and simmer and kind of thicken some. And the thing I did discover last weekend is if it sits too long and cools, it gets a little hard to spread. So you want to make it in advance enough that you're ready to roll and either serve it hot right then, or you could pop it in the microwave for a little bit just to warm it up and loosen it up. And it's amazing. So to this bacon, I'm going to add, I don't like that piece of onion. I'm going to add some chopped onion and a whole bunch of stuff. And you'll get, well, you're going to see me do it right now. So instead of, I would normally do this on the burner, but I wanted to be able to stand here where I could throw onion on the floor. So there's onion. I think we need a little bit more. And this is just cooks together, and it's just wicked. I am planning to make this and then use it in my Lodge grilled cheese sandwiches. Just haven't had time yet. All right, so to that I'm going to add some honey. And some garlic. You can use fresh, or I'm using minced today because it's handy. And yeah, I'm not measuring. It's just kind of eyeballing. Now, the original recipe also called for maple syrup, which I realized I ran out of. So for that little sweet component, I'm going to use up some of Katie's rosehip jam. Jam in the jam. And I needed some water, so I got bottled water out here. Here we go. And some cider vinegar. And some coffee. And I have a feeling this is part of what gives this such a luscious, wonderful flavor. So there's some coffee and a little bit of butter. Yeah, an exact measure on this, as you can see, is very, very important. And some brown sugar. Then I'm just going to set it on the stove and let it simmer away until it thickens. And frankly, I wasn't paying attention last weekend, so I don't know how long that took. But we'll get it done before we leave here today. So there you go. I'm setting the bacon aside. That gets re-added at the end. So there you go. That's the whole thing. I'm going to carefully set it back here. Turn it on and get it started. Take a quick look at my chips. Yep, they're starting to crisp up real nice. And start prepping some salsa. So as I said, we had a wine dinner last weekend. It went really well. We had some really fun guests. And we have another one coming up on October 22nd, which is almost sold out. And no, I haven't planned the menu yet. Although, you know, to be fair, the main course has to be beef because Dean says I'm not doing it with beef for his red wines. So, you know, you can give me a call on that anytime. And then we've got so much coming up here in the next few weeks. We've got the Philo Awards, which I've talked about. And a lot of the folks that are coming into town from out of state are staying here at the lodge. And that same weekend, then we have the award festival, which I was honored to be asked to host. So I'll be innkeeper here, host there, then back here to take care of those guests and prep for a shower on that Saturday, and then the wine dinner on Sunday. So it's going to be a busy week up here, but that's the way I like it. And I talk about that just so you can all see all the different kinds of things you can do up here. So part of my salsa here, this is the tomatillo. This is basically the way it looks when you buy it. It's got this paper skin. So you just pull that off, and then you're left with the tomatillo. I'm going to set these two aside because I just peeled them, but I didn't rinse them yet. So I'll do that later. That was just to kind of show you what they look like. Now I'm just going to take these and throw them in my handy dandy chopper and hit the garbage bowl first try. Tomatillos are good. You've seen, I've used them a lot this summer for different things. This is something I make that people ask for. I can't eat it because it has jalapeno in it, but people seem to really, really like it. And it's kind of fresh. And personally, I think it's something that can go all winter long. I don't think salsa has to be limited to just the summer months. But then again, I don't think anything has to be limited to anything, so just my opinion. They do. Oh, it smells so fresh. It's got a weird smell. It's a nice smell. It's hard to describe. Kind of citrusy and bitter at the same time. So what I'm doing, I'm going to probably make 3 batches. So I will try to do them evenly, add some of my components from each thing. So I'm going to get my tomato out, nice fresh tomato. Throw part of the tomato on the floor, but I hit the garbage bowl again. 2 points. And looks like I need to sharpen my knife to get somebody up here. Now this is just a rough chop. I don't have to worry about uniformity in size because it's all going in here. So put some tomato in there. Got a nice fresh lime. And I washed all this before you came up, of course, which is why it's kind of slippery. I got some lime. A little bit of the jalapeno, if I can find it. Now I throw this in here, seeds and all. I guess that's what gives it its heat. Add some more tomatillo. Ooh, I hear sizzling from behind me. Things are starting to happen. So I better turn around and look. Oh, look, we're getting a nice simmer started, almost a boil. And I've got some chips ready to come out, it looks like. So that was about 7 minutes. Yep, nice, hot, crispy chips. I'll do more of those later. So when we come back, I'll have some of this running and ready for you. And I can show you how I blend it all together, and we'll go from there. So I will just keep chopping in the meantime.
It's not just a donation.
It's a warm blanket.
It's a bottle of clean water.
It's a roof and a bed.
It's knowing someone cares.
It's feeling safe.
It's a today that's better than yesterday.
Every dollar you can spare helps so much more than you can imagine. Please donate now to Red Cross Disaster Relief. Your help is urgently needed.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. protected the weak and defeated the strong, shown courage and compassion. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks. They've been called devil dogs. But above all, they're called Marines.
I used to think news is news. It's all the same. But it's not. There's a big difference between local broadcast news and cable news. See, local stations are part of my community, connecting me to local news, weather, and sports on every device. It makes sense. Get the news from the people I trust who actually live here. No agenda, no bias like on cable shout shows or social media, just facts. For news I can trust, I stay local. Support your local stations. Text TV to 52886 today.
And we're back. So I chopped up the first batch. You didn't see on camera, I added some garlic and some balsamic. And as you can tell by looking at it, you can kind of see from the bottom, I added too much balsamic. So I won't add any to the second batch. And that way they'll blend together. And hopefully, be just the right level of everything. Oop, add in some more jalapeno there. Alrighty. So just kind of doing what I did on the first one. As I said, in this case, though, I just won't add any more of that because it would just get too heavy into the balsamic. We got some more onion. I mean, really, what could be easier? And this is great with chips, which is the way I'm going to serve it. But I've also done this and served it with chicken breast or over a piece of nice grilled fish. It's just all fresh. I mean, you can't beat fresh. And you can make alterations. You know, if I were making this for myself, which I have, I just leave out the jalapeno. And then I can eat it. But salsa is very easy to make, like this, a no-cook salsa. You can do this. I did it last weekend with fresh peaches, and we served that with chicken cutlets, and that was delicious. Oh, parsley, don't forget the parsley. I mean, really, people are very impressed when I serve it, and then if they go back and watch the show and see truly how easy it was. So while I'm pulling the parsley and getting ready to chop this, I'll do my little spiel. I'm Connie from Connie's Kitchen here on OCTV, and you can reach me at 248-933-4579. Facebook, Treetop Lodge, Oxford, which, by the way, a little side note, my playlist, which includes my shows, today being number 48, is up well over 9,000 views, and I'm very proud of that. And that's thanks to all of you. It's thanks to people in our new markets, thanks to our guests that come in and get excited and want to share. So that's huge. Now I want to hit 10,000, and I prefer to do that by this weekend, so get busy. All right, so there's parsley and a little bit of garlic. And I'm going to take a look back here real quick and see what's happening here. Yep, it's just simmering down. And then I'll put this one back in the chopper and blend it in with what I've got. Doing batches like this too is nice because I can adjust. As I said, I added too much balsamic. This time I won't add any. And then I can see right where I am. Ready? I don't want to liquefy it. I still want it to have some integrity. So just give it a quick chop. And there we have salsa. Ooh. Oh, that smells good. It smells fresh. And you can smell tomato and bits of parsley. And can you imagine doing this on a cold winter's day? Sitting down in front of a roaring fire with fresh chips and salsa. That would definitely take the chill out of your bones. All right, so now I'll just take my second batch and blend it into my first batch. And what I will probably do, since this is going to sit until about 6 o'clock, I'll have it in the fridge. Before I serve it, I will probably put it through a strainer, so that people aren't getting soggy salsa. But I want it all to sit together now, because now is when all the flavors are going to come together and become even more delicious. So there we have it. We have some salsa. We have our bacon jam, which is simmering along so very nicely. I'm going to just put this. Boy, I am making quite a mess here today, aren't I? But don't worry, later in the day, the unicorns will be here to help me clean up, which is very important. And then I'm going to set this aside. So there you have it. Now, another thing I'm doing for tonight, after I lost my towel, is I'm going to make some squash soup. Super, super simple. I set this up before you got here today. This is butternut squash, the long one. Just cubed it up. Again, a rough chop is fine, because this is going to get hit with the immersion blender. I took a container of my chicken stock that I made myself. So there's no salt in it, there's no fat, and it's just a nice flavor. And that's been in the freezer, so I just defrosted that. Threw the stock in here. I'm not going to season it or anything. Normally when I start a soup, I do the onion and garlic and butter to get it started. I want the squash flavor. I want that sweetness, and I want it to be just that. Now, when I served this last weekend, because it was a hot day, I served it at room temperature, so it was kind of thick, dusted with paprika. And it was just the loveliest combination of flavors. So I'm just going to set this on the stove and let it sit there and bring it up to a boil, and then just let it sit and simmer. And when everything is nice and tender, as I said, then I'll hit it with the immersion blender. Just before I serve it, I'm going to add, depending on what I have on hand, either some milk or some half and half. Blend it through just a little bit. Really doesn't alter the flavor, but it changes the texture a little bit, makes it a little bit creamier. You can also do this when you make something like this that's that thick. You can actually serve it as a puree. You know, on TV they swoop it across the plates. I like to thin it out just a little bit more and serve it as a soup, but it does serve more than one purpose. And that's it. I mean, that's the whole thing for making that particular soup. It's very simple, but you know, the squash is starting to come in and getting those fall flavors. Right now we're kind of transitioning. You know, yesterday was hot, today's a little cooler. So, but don't limit yourself, as I've said before, just because it's a certain time of year. If something's available to you and you like it, you know, deviled eggs in January, why not? So let me take a look back here and see what's happening with our bacon jam. It smells heavenly. So I've had it on a pretty good boil. I'm going to take it down a little bit now because I just want it to sit there and simmer. And as I discovered the other day, I cooked it until it started to thicken. I think if I had cooked it to a certain point and stopped and let it sit and thicken, I think I would have been happier with the end result. So there you have it. Oh, Lord, it smells good. Okay. All right, so there you go. We have salsa made. We have chips made. I'm going to make some more chips, as a matter of fact, now that my tray is clean. Oh, I didn't even bring those out and show you, did I? Nice, crispy chips. And you can cook them just flat, but isn't this more fun? You know, little shapes, and then drape them over the edge, different things. And you just, a little bit of seasoning is all you need, and then dip and go. It's just a different taste. I like to do things a little bit differently. So I'm going to make some more, as you see how easy that is. Fresh stuff happening. Always fresh stuff happening. I'll tell you what, I have got so many different fragrances going on in this room right now, you just wouldn't believe it. All right, so I'll get this cleaned up a little bit. Come on back and we'll see what we got.
Hi everyone, I'm Bill Lansdowne, retired chief of the San Diego Police Department. Every year we see new phones introduced into the marketplace, and we can't wait to get our hands on them. But we're not always practicing smart habits when using these devices. Enjoy your smartphone safely and smartly by following these simple tips. Password protect your phone. A thief won't have access to your private information. If you have kill switch technology installed on your device, activate the kill switch to lock, wipe, or brick your phone if it's stolen. Know how to identify your phone. Write down your phone's make and model, serial number, IMEI, or MEID number. Install anti-theft software. Know who to call. If your phone is stolen, call your carrier to temporarily put a hold on your account and file a police report immediately. Please visit PhoneTheftFacts.com for more information about how to protect yourself.
Earth Hour, a grassroots movement born in Sydney in 2007, has seen 10,400 landmarks, over 7,000 cities in 172 countries and territories switch off for climate action. Together, individuals and communities have built a people-powered global movement to create real change, lighting up homes and lives with solar power in India and the Philippines, providing families with fuel-efficient stoves in Nepal and Madagascar, and helping communities get back on their feet after Typhoon Haiyan with climate-smart boats. We have successfully banned plastic in the World Heritage Site of the Galapagos Islands and planted the world's first Earth Hour forest in Uganda, a country losing thousands of hectares to deforestation every month. Together, we've made a lasting difference, but we must continue to protect our planet, our home. This Earth Hour, join us to shine a light on climate action. Together, let's change climate change.
The flu is unpredictable and can be serious, even for healthy people. A flu vaccine is your best protection. Who needs to be vaccinated against the flu? You. Protect yourself, your friends, and your family. Get a flu vaccine.
Hey, we're back, and I'm ready to take this off because it's starting to thicken nicely. Yeah. So I'm just going to let that sit and cool for a bit. But there's one crucial element that we must add to truly make it a bacon jam, and that is our bacon. And of course I had to test it. So fresh bacon, fresh cooked bacon back in. Now the list of instructions I got for this said to blend it. I'm not sure if I'm going to. I didn't the other day. I liked it just this way. I'm going to wait till it cools and just decide. If I decide I want to blend it, then I will. But for now, look at that. Heaven in a skillet. All right, my squash is starting to cook. I got my first batch of chips out, so I'm going to put some more in. Got the salsa in the fridge, and that's going to sit there and develop more and more flavor the longer it sits. And then tonight, because I can't do jalapenos, when Jackie gets here, Jackie's been on the show and she's coming up tonight to help me with the dinner. I'll have her taste it and see where the heat level is. If she thinks it's too intense, I may dust in a little bit of brown sugar just before I serve it. That'll kind of take the edge off of it a little bit. So I didn't show you what I was doing. It's a pizza cutter. So I take the little wonton wrappers and just do that. You can do it to any shape. I was kind of being traditional and doing the triangle shape. But I'm going to go ahead and get these cut now and put them back in the bag so they don't dry out. And they'll be ready for, I can do another batch, and then the chips will be done. And then I'll take a little break. Then I'll come in and start cook. Well, actually, I'll take a little break. I'm going to set the table for tonight, double check the house, make sure everything looks the way I want it to. And we'll do this kind of like the way we do the wine dinners. The guests will arrive and I'll have appetizers and such down in the gathering room. So everybody can relax. Most people, I think everybody, probably coming from work. So I want them to be able to come in and sit down and just relax and enjoy themselves. And then whenever they're ready, we will serve dinner. Now tonight isn't the big 7-course dinner like we do for the wine dinners. They wanted more of a family style. So to be honest with you, I'll know tonight, but I haven't quite decided exactly. They asked for chicken, but I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to prepare it, although I am going to make a margarita sauce. And I've made sauces here before, use white wine or such. The margarita mix, I've got a big bottle and I don't use it and I don't want to waste it. So I'm going to make a sauce, and I'll do the same thing. I'll take butter and flour and start with a roux, and then I'll start adding the margarita mix and probably some fresh lime, maybe some fresh lemon, and let it start to thicken and build up. And not sure, depends on what I do with the chicken, although I'm thinking about, these chicken breasts are big, cutting them down into cutlet size and starting there, and I might just brown them in the skillet and then throw them in the crock pot with the sauce and let them sit all afternoon. So next time, or one of these times, check back and I'll tell you what I ended up doing. And I'm going to use the tomatillos. I'm going to take these out to the grill, slice them and just lightly brown them. And they'll be mixed with zucchini and fresh tomato and peas, because now I'm a convert to fresh peas thanks to my buddy Joe. And I'll do a medley of fresh zucchini, fresh tomato, fresh peas, and grilled tomatillos. That'll be our vegetable side. And then I'm making couscous as the starch. So they'll have soup and salad, big main course, and then dessert, I'm thinking is going to be chocolate lava cakes, which I do a lot, but they're going to have a grilled peach topping and fresh made whipped cream on them. So again, all very simple things, but thinking about how the flavors are going to work together. And don't be afraid to ask other people's opinions. You know, you can tell them when they're wrong. So, all right, I have my bacon jam sitting here cooling. Yeah, I think perhaps I will put this in the chopper just to give it a little bit finer consistency so people can spread it on crackers and such. But there's something I can do in the meantime, which I've been dying to do. Oh, you can taste the coffee, and I can't put that back in there. Oh my goodness, that's good. Yeah, I think I will put this through the chopper just a little bit, break it down a little bit. And then I'm actually going to serve it with a rosemary and basil cracker. So I thought the herbs would play nice off the sweet of that. And my soup's coming to a boil. My chips are chipping. And that's kind of what's going on in the kitchen today. I'm in my element and I'm having a great time doing all the things that I love to do so much. So, as I said, this is episode 48. And soon we'll film episode 49, and then Chris is coming back for episode 50, where I'm going to challenge my wizard to do some fancy editing, because we would like to include some of my favorite moments from all the shows we've done so far. I started looking through them the other night with that in mind. It's really hard to choose. I've been so thrilled with doing the show from the beginning, with the support I've gotten from OCTV, with the work Kyle does as an editor, as a cameraman and an editor, because I don't always make it easy for him. Matter of fact, I don't think I ever make it easy for him. But he does a great job, and which is pretty much true of everybody up at the station. I am constantly humbled by just how talented these people are, and really how dedicated to what they're doing. Public TV is not what I thought it was. And it's an opportunity for average people like me to share their time and their talents with the public in such a great way. And it's spilled over into so many other areas. And I'm having a ball. So long as y'all want me here, I'll keep being here. And, well, that's about it for today, other than I gave you the rundown of what I have to do later. So I'm going to go get to it. So in the meantime, be nice to one another. Remember the promise. And I will see you back here for episode 49 of Connie's Kitchen at Treetop Lodge here on OCTV. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.
America, meet Greg Anderson, served 2 tours in Afghanistan, Bronze Star and Purple Heart recipient, and unemployed. The unemployment rate among transitioning service members is unacceptably high, much higher than the general population. Veterans are a proven commodity. They're mature, reliable, and hardworking, and they deserve a chance to get back to work after serving their country. Do you really want to honor a veteran? Hire one. Go to legion.org/honor veterans to find out how you can help.